Alright, this is the second part of your 10-3 notes. So this is the back side of your notes. Here we have multiplication, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one. You're going to distribute this 2 to everything inside. You do not multiply the 2 and the 3 because the 2 is on the outside of the square root and the 3 is on the inside. So they're separate things. All you do here is you combine them. So you have 2 times the square root of 3. For the second part, you have this positive 4 right here. You can multiply 2 times that positive 4 because it's not in the square root. 2 times 4 is 8, and then you have the square root of 5. You cannot simplify the square root of 3 because 3 is a prime number, and you cannot simplify 5 because 5 is a prime number. You cannot combine these two because they are two separate numbers underneath your radical, which is your square root. So this is your final answer. On number 2. Okay, so here we have a square root of 6 that we are going to distribute to both things. So here you have the square root of 6 times 3. Okay, and then here you'd have minus 2 times the square root of 6 times 6. So here I have the square root of 18 minus 2 times the square root of 36. So I'm going to go ahead and do my little factor for 18. I could do 2 and 9. That's 3 and 3. So there are my prime factors. Okay, that I have a 3. When I rewrite this, I have 2 times 3 times 3. So I have my pair of 3's that I can pull out. I have a 2 left over. Okay, and now I'm going to look at this piece right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring that on down. So I have minus 2, and I know the square root of 36 is 6. So I can simplify this as 3 square roots of 2. 2 times 6 is 12, so minus 12. And again, you can't simplify that because the 12 does not have a square root. Alright, number 3. So number 3, again, I'm going to distribute the square root of 5. To everything inside. So we're going to have the square root of 5 times 5 minus the square root of 2 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, this 25, you can see here you have your pairs of 5s. That pulls out to just be 5. Or you know that the square root of 25 is just 5. Minus, then you just have the square root of 10. Okay, number 4. So same thing, we're going to distribute the square root of 2 to everything inside. So you have 3 square root of 2 times 7 plus 2 square root of 2 times 5. Okay, well 2 and 7, those are prime numbers. There's no pairs, so I'm going to simplify that. It's just 14. And then over here you have 2 times 5 on the inside. Both of those are prime numbers. There's nothing I can do to simplify that, so 2 square roots of 10. 14 and 10 are separate numbers. They're not the same, so I can't combine them, so that's my final answer. Alright, number 5. The easiest way to do number 5 is your box method. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my box here. Okay, we have 2 minus 4 square roots of 2. And we have 2 plus 4 square roots of 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times a negative 4, that's a negative 8 square roots of 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and you have the square root of 2. And then here for this last one, you have 4 times negative 4 is a negative 16. And then you have in the square root 2 times 2, which is 4. Well, the square root of 4 is 2, so negative 16 times 2 is negative 32. Again, you only combine what you have right here in your diagonal. And the only thing that you do have, is 8 squared to 2 and a negative 8 squared to 2. Same thing, one's positive, one's negative, they cancel each other out. So you just have 4 minus 32, and that is negative 28. Alright, the last one that we have here, you have square root of 3 plus the square root of 6. All of that is squared. This is the exact same thing as the square root of 3 plus the square root of 6 times the square root of 3 plus the square root of 6. So what you're going to do here again is you're going to do your box method. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my box. We have the square root of 3 plus the square root of 6. We have the square root of 3 plus the square root of 6. Okay, so here you have the square root of 3 times 3 which is the square root of 9. Well, the square root of 9 simplifies to just 3. Here you have the square root of 3 times 6, which is equal to the square root of 18. Okay, so for 18, you can do 2 and 9, which is 3 and 3. Here's your pairs you would pull out, and you have a 2 that's left over, so you have 3 square roots of 2. Okay, again, you have 6 times 3, which is equal to your square root of 18, and again, that reduces down to 3 square roots of 2. And then here you have the square root of 6 times 6, which is the square root of 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. Again, you just highlight what you have right here in the diagonal. So we have a 3 plus 3 square root of 2 plus the 3 square root of 2 plus 6. And there's actually two things we can combine. We can combine the 3 and the 6 to get 9. So those are gone. And then you have 3 square roots 2, 3 square roots 2, so you have a total of 6 square roots of 2. And that's your final answer. And yeah, that's it for the second part of your 10-3 notes.